My baby's got to go in the shop tomorrow. Oh, yeah. Well, what's happened here is this. Nothing major. First, I got to get the two main pins replaced because they are really wore out for that bucket. And second, this right here, this control arm is jammed in this forward position here. It goes back, no problem, forward. It barely engages, so there's something jammed in that arm. I tried looking at it. I pulled the mat and everything, pulled that cover plate, and I couldn't see where it was hanging up, so it's got to be somewhere well within the chassis of this excavator, and I need to get the lights working. So there's three things that need to happen. The pins, that arm, the linkage, whatever, and then the lights. I just greased this. I went through this and greased the heck out of it too, and cleaned it all up. Just, you know, pulling covers, pulling plates, and blowing all the dust and everything out, and then that started jamming on me, so there's a problem. Got the International Draught all greased up. It's running good, no problem. And of course, 2-year-old tractor with 101 hours on it, there's nothing wrong with it at all. And I appreciate Chris coming up here yesterday getting the lawnmowers from me, and the backpack blower, that's cool. But let's talk about something else. Yes. Here we go, nice. Got my coffee. It's about 2:15 in the afternoon. I went to the hospital first thing this morning and made sure that my appointment is on the books to have a conference to ratify all my year-end contracts with the hospital. So that's got set up. I go next week and have a meeting with the engineering department, and we'll see all the stuff they need to renew contracts on. So that's cool. All right. Well, considering that the excavator did all this work out here for the last couple months, having a few more things to be fixed on it is understandable. It's part of the program. You gotta fix what you gotta fix. Here's the topic. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. That's all I got to say. What happened, I went to the bank yesterday, and that's where all my daytime wives are, and I've known these girls forever, years and years and years. They're all married, they're all either older, younger, pregnant and married, but the whole crowd is just, you know, but I go in there, and not only do I bank, we talk about everything. Politics, relationships, everything. Their relationships, my lack of them, things of that nature. Now, there's one girl there, I shouldn't call her a girl, she's actually a lady. She's married, 3 kids, 3 dogs, you know, the 2.5, all of that. And her and I have become very, very good friends. Here is something that was very unusual about here's what's unusual about our relationship, is that she is a Democrat and an ultra liberal, okay? And me, I'm a Republican and an ultra fiscal conservative. That is two opposites. But over the years, now we have talked about politics a lot. We've talked about Trump. We've talked about, oh boy, she goes off on Trump. She thinks he's the biggest idiot on the planet. I lie to you not. And I sit there and grin and smile and just say to her, you know, things that I believe in. And over the years, we've learned how to get along. Okay? We coexist together, even though our views are totally opposite. Okay? That way. We're polar opposites. But we've learned to respect each other, because that's what she said. We respect each other. Now, when you get that level of respect with somebody, you can say whatever you want to, and it bounces right off of them. They know where you're coming from, and it's no big deal. In one of my last videos, I indicated it'd be great to have a great woman out here. It is true. It would be great. But so many of you have commented that they would not want to live out here knowing there's no bathroom, there's no shower, and everything's off grid. And then I'll put them to work raising farm animals and in the garden and keep them barefoot and pregnant, right? I'm a little too old for getting women pregnant. But, well, I'm not too old to get them pregnant, just too old to get anyone pregnant. I'm just too old. So the whole point is that here's the way I look at everything when it comes to this type of topic, when it comes to relationships. I could easily go out and meet somebody my age, which is in the late mid-50s to 60, okay? Problem is, and here's another comment, is that women that are already over 50, divorced, the kids are gone or one is in the house and they've got their own house and, you know, they're divorced, they're widowed, they're set in their ways just like I am. The only problem is that physically, unless they're some sort of athlete and they run a lot and they go to the gym every single day, a woman in her mid-50s and in her 60s will not come out here and beat her body up to do this kind of work or even have this kind of lifestyle, okay? Just not going to do it. They're set in their ways, they're comfortable, you know, and a lot of women that are in their early 60s are starting to experience some sort of health problems. And they're going through, you know, that whole cycle of being an older woman. Now, for me, I wouldn't be attracted to a 60-year-old woman because a lot of times they're too, I don't know, they're just older looking, just they're not strong, you know, they've been comfortable all their lives, they've been mothers, they've been housewives, you know, unless, like I said, unless they are some sort of athlete and they've been doing it for 20, 30 years or, you know, working on a farm like a woman from Montana. And one of you guys said, oh, you just need a good Amish woman. You're probably right, an Amish woman, because they're used to this kind of stuff. They're used to not having electricity or the lack of certain basic, you know, things. Problem is, I don't live in Montana or Utah or wherever the Amish are, upstate Pennsylvania. So I live in North Carolina and there are no Amish here. What we've got here is the women that live in the country, the young 30, 40-year-olds who usually are still partying. See, that's the thing. If they're divorced and they're in their 30s and 40s, women usually still got their looks about them. They still got their shape about them, even though they might have a kid or two. But the whole problem is that now they're not ready to get married unless they're going to be supported. They're looking now for the dollar. They're looking for the man that's got everything. And they will date an older man. A 35 to 45-year-old will date a man 55 to 65. As long as he's got a lot, he's bringing a lot to the table, okay? Car, house, vacations, credit card, you know, setting these girls up so they feel comfortable and safe and they're taken care of, okay? I'm not ready to babysit anybody, that's for sure. So for me, the ideal scenario is because I lived in Asia for so long and I lived in Central America for so long before I came to the United States, I got a taste of a different culture early on. So from the age of 5, when I first started seeing what was going on in the world, to the age of about, say, 17, I was surrounded by Central American women and Asian women. That my entire, you know, young life. And I got used to that. I got used to that submissive nature. I got used to that difference of roles, that women knew their different role that they play overseas. They're not westernized. So the westernized woman, you can take anyone. You can westernize a Central American woman. You can westernize a European woman. You can westernize Ukrainians, you know, Asians. You know, once they get spoiled and they taste the good life, then they're ruined forever. Oh yeah, ruined forever. Gold diggers. Now there's a movement out there, it's called MGTOW. And of course, we've talked about this a lot. And I'm actually pretty much MGTOW because for the last 10 years, I've only really been with two girls, Patty and the girl from Vietnam that I dated for 100 days. But that was a whole different situation. I was her fling. I was her guy on the side. I couldn't keep her even if I wanted to keep her. She just allowed me to be with her for 100 days, and then she disappeared. And she went back to her life, okay? So I couldn't control that. Now, I liked her. She was 45 years old and smoking hot and had money. And I would have stayed with her if she had a different lifestyle, but she has a life back in Vietnam, in California, and also on the East Coast. So her life was already pretty much planned and mapped out. I just happened to be a side attraction, okay? Which I don't mind. I'll take side attractions all day long. I don't mind being the third wheel, especially when it comes to a hot chick. You know, if it's given to you on a silver platter, you sit down and eat. That's what I always say. So, for me to be able to, and like another one of my subscribers said, well, you're too busy to have a relationship because you couldn't spend enough time with them because women are emotional and they're needy and they have to have a lot of attention given to them, and that's how you keep them. So in a way, you're right, but the thing I always believe in is that I make enough money and I have enough time because I get off work at 3 and 4 o'clock every day, 5 o'clock every day. I've got a normal job schedule, 7:30 to 5. I mean, you know, that's what most people, you know, normal life everybody has. And then I come out here on the weekends. So really, I got a life. And if I don't want to come out here on the weekends, I take the boat to the coast and go hang out there for a weekend or something. So I'm not locked into one thing, even though I do want to get this place up and running before I retire. So for me, I want to look for a woman that actually is probably in her mid-40s, definitely would prefer Asian. I would definitely take a Ukrainian, but Ukrainian women are gold diggers. They're too intelligent. And, you know, they're not ready to do this. That European women are not going to come out here unless there's some sort of free spirit, you know. The off-grid women that are off-grid now are the young crowd, the 20, and they're all in their 20s. And they're not going to hook up with an older guy in his 60s, okay? They're looking for 20 and 30-year-olds themselves doing what they're doing, okay? Everybody has about a 10-year age gap spread that everybody's pretty much comfortable with. 10 years below or 10 years above, nobody really screams or shouts about that. But when you're talking 20 and 30 years, then there's a big difference. There's a big difference there. Lifestyle and everything's different. So to be able to find a country girl out here, they're all on leave, especially if they're in their 20s, 30s, and 40s. They're getting the hell out of the country and moving to the city. So if I live in the city and I live out here part-time there, part-time here, then really, then there's a balance. So that balance then becomes a selling point. And then too, having a normal schedule, work schedule, is just, you know, what everybody has to work. Everybody has to do something. You know, if you want something, you got to go out and work to get the money to go buy it. So, unless you're rich. So, for me, you know, I don't mind waiting and looking and, you know, and praying about it. But at the same time, too, I'm not going to get lost in the confusion of it, because even though it gets lonely, it's still a safer bet than being in a bad relationship or a bad marriage that you spend thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of dollars to get out of, than worrying about spend $10,000 to get into a relationship. Okay, so it really boils down to sometimes numbers, but at the same time too, you still have to have something here. And like my banker daytime wife says, you got to be able to respect each other. Okay, guys, y'all have a blessed day. Leave those comments, and I know you will. And thank you for all the females that are commenting on my channel. I appreciate that. All the way from New York to Florida to Texas to Ireland. Thank you, ladies, and chime in England. And also all the guys, you know, all of you guys, you know, we all talk all the time. So I suppose this is going to be titled Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus. You know, we're all different, but we've got to learn how to respect each other. Y'all stay tuned, stay blessed. Now let me see if I can get out of here. All right.